Thank you for this question. Is it racism or is it prejudice? And sometimes when you study racism in school, you are taught that racism can only be affected by people who have positions of privilege within a system where they have power. So, in our pursuit of talking about Latinos and anti Black racism, which, by the way, hi, I'm your professor, Dr. Esther Trujillo, and I post videos about Latinos in the US. And right now, we're talking about anti Black racism in the Latino community. It's important for us to understand the differences between different types of terminologies like racism, discrimination, and prejudice. So, I've made a lot of videos about this in the past, but I'll give you a very brief overview. In a lot of academic circles, racism is thought of as discrimination whose end is to uphold privilege plus power. And they argue that racism can only occur within institutions. In academic circles, interpersonal racism, so if I say something about you or vice versa, interpersonal racism is not really defined as true racism because there's a belief there that interpersonal conflict does not align with the preservation of power structures. However, how can racism exist within institutions and within systems of power if not through the actions of individual agents or actors like me and you? So instead, people in academic circles will talk about interpersonal discrimination rather than calling it racism. But colloquially, between you and me in everyday conversation, people will always use the word racist to refer to interpersonal conflict. Conflict that's based on race and other things related to race. Now, discrimination is when you act on prejudices, so it's an action. Prejudice is when you have those thoughts in your head, but you don't always say them. And these are the different ways, the different registers of racism that exist. Now, when I walked into my position as the professor of race and ethnicity in America at Brown, I was saying that there was interpersonal discrimination, that there was bullying, that there was inter-ethnic conflict, right? Inter-ethnic and intra-ethnic. And what my colleagues at Brown told me was, just call it what it is, racism. And why is it racism? It's because sometimes when we are enacting interpersonal discrimination on each other, we are doing the work of upholding power systems. So what I'm trying to get to everyone, what I'm trying to get everyone to understand is that individuals are responsible for upholding systems of power. And it's up to us to recognize when we're doing that and to stop.